Salute, salute, shalom, everybody. Peace and power. What's going on? What's going on? Give everybody some time to tap in and check in. Hope everybody blessed out there on this Monday night, Monday evening, Monday morning, wherever you at. Thanks to everybody who've been tapping in, checking in, showing love, showing support. I appreciate it. Because we all doing what we doing in life. So to stop by and show some love or show some appreciation, thanks for that. That's humbling. And as I always say and do, give people time to check in and tap in. I give it to the 15-minute mark. But yeah, I'm humbled, for everybody who's been rocking with me from A1 day one up until today. For real, it's humbling. Thank you. It's very gratifying. Like I said, once I get to the 15-minute mark, I'll speak about what I got going on in the title. Shout out to everybody that has a channel or they just doing work on YouTube and they come by and show me love. Because when you're a content creator, you got to go through a lot to get this whole content creation thing down pat. It's not simple. Once you start getting monetized, and then you want ads running and, watch hours, and YouTube got a lot of rules and regulations. So shout out to everybody that is a content creator or have a channel and they still rock with me and show me love. I appreciate that. And the more that I grow and elevate, I'm humbled by that because I understand the plight and the process that people have to go through to extend that love to somebody else who got a platform or doing what they do. So for me, it's very humbling and it's gratifying. Also, I want to give a shout out to everybody who have given me constructive criticism, helpful advice, telling me how to build my platform, giving me information and education of the do's and don'ts of this whole YouTube thing. You know, it was helpful, it was needed, and I appreciate it. Like I said, just giving some people some time to tap in, check in. Once I get to the 15-minute mark, I'll start with the content. Also, if you're on the East Coast, it's been a lot of wet weather over the last couple days. It's going to be a little bit more wet weather. So if you're driving, drive with caution. And if you're out there, try to have your umbrella and just be prepared for the rain. Move accordingly. Stay aware of your surroundings and your situation. Because, like I said, all that wet weather that we'll be getting over the next couple days, it could become a little bit too much. So just try to go out there if you are on the East Coast or, like the New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia area, Connecticut area. Just be mindful there's going to be some wet weather coming. And also, being aware of that wet weather, it can get you sick if you dress in one way, then you get caught in the rain and the temperature up and down, and you could, have a fan on or heat. So if you don't know the weather, just try to pay attention to it so you could, be aware of when it's going to rain, how much it's going to rain, and also the temperature. Just because it's spring, the temperature goes up and down in the spring. So be mindful of that. And like I said, once I get to the 15-minute mark, I'll start going in on the content. But I'm gonna give some people some time to tap in and check in. Yeah, I pray everybody out there in a good place, in a good space, not overwhelming themselves with work, with family, with friends, with the internet. Just pacing yourself. Like try to do that. Try to pace yourself. You know what I mean? Try to do too much of anything. Just pace yourself. As long as you pace yourself, you'll be all right. You ain't got to worry about being overwhelmed with too much of anything. You know what I mean? Just, move at your pace, no matter what situation you're in, with work, with school, with family, with friends, whatever it is, move at your pace. My sister done tapped in. What's going on, Carla? How you doing? Yeah, I'm well. I'm humbled. I'm thankful, appreciative. More importantly, I'm just in the mind frame that I'm always in: self-control, self-respect, self-awareness, self-accountability. I mean, it may not be much to you, Carla. I appreciate you for so many different reasons. The first one is that this internet things is up and down. It's like the stock market. You know what I mean? You have highs at times, you have lows at times, and then you could be steady at times. So I just want to thank you for consistently being there, no matter if it's a high time, a low time, an off time, a good time, a bad time. I appreciate that. Right? So from me to you, you know, I know we don't directly know each other, but the respect and how you've been embracing me is like we do. So words can't even express that. Like I'm beyond humbled, I'm beyond gracious and grateful. And I know sometimes I may overdo it or oversay it, but I gotta say it because like I said, when you're dealing with being on this internet thing, it's like it's like a stock. It's up, it's down, and it's always unbalanced. So I just want to thank you for your patience, for your tolerance, for your obedience, and overall your guidance. And it may not be much to you. I could tell you, you know what I mean? Like I'm thankful that you come through the chat or you say things in my videos. Like it's humbling. Like I do what I do to look to motivate and look to educate or look to inspire or look to encourage. But you doing what you do, it keeps me going on the right path. Not saying if you wasn't around, I wouldn't do it because I was still moving. You know, when I didn't see you in the chat or in the comments, I'm just saying to see you there is humbling, it's gratifying because you've seen me through a lot of different transitions. It's not that it's like easy or hard. It's just it's gratifying. Like it's gratifying for me because I get how this ending thing now more than when I first started because I just started off for just wanting to motivate and inspire and put out education and you know some healing education. But now I'm at the mind frame where I'm just thankful I'm still going and I didn't burn myself out. I didn't overexert myself. I didn't come at other people who was in better positions than me. Like I didn't have them feeling awkward or uncomfortable. And I really didn't have no major, you know, altercations verbally with nobody. So now that I'm where I am, I'm more prepared for those verbal altercations, even though I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm just thankful for me to make this climb that I didn't have to do that because I don't want nobody that support me or nobody that's in my chat to have to go through that. So those are things that that I'm humble for, I'm grateful for, and I think about on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Not because before I get into the content, when I was younger, my attitude was so reckless and my accountability was so low. When I went through something, I never looked at how it affected those around me, family, friend, co-workers, kids, people, in the neighborhood I was from or the areas I used to be in. And even though, like I said, I may not directly know people on the internet, it's still a community base that you build. And I need my interactions to be as authentic as possible. So I'm just humbled that I'm at that place and space. Yeah, it's definitely there. You know what I mean? It's definitely there. The last live I did a couple days ago, that was the longest live I ever did. I was on here for about 4.5 hours. It was a great live I built with a couple brothers. And I had a couple people that I never interacted with. They was in the chat and they supported me. I had dropped the link and some brothers had came up. So if they tap in or they're in the bushes, I appreciate you, brothers. Thank you. They kind of carried the live stream actually. So I'm humble for them brothers and I'm thankful for them. And like you said, Carla, a lot of people support you for various different reasons. So I don't, and I don't really ask nobody like why they support me. I just do what I'm doing, and I'm basing it off what I'm doing, far as my energy or my vibes. So I'm looking to keep it on that level. And I really don't want to know because what if I do something that they might not like that particular video or that particular live? Now I gotta kind of feed them all the time or feed their ego or feed what they want me to push out. And I'm just doing what I'm doing. Now, what never has happened though, Carla, I never really talked to you like on a panel or nothing like that. Like it's like was ironic to me. Every time or the times I did drop the link, you never was around. You know what I mean? That's like wow. Like every time I dropped the link, you never came to the live because I love you typing, but I would love for us to have a back and forth conversation, even if it's just like this. It don't have to be you talking to me about what the topic is. It's just for us to have a conversation like this. That's all. I noticed that like every time I drop the link, it's like a few other people. Like when I'm like, wow, every time or the time, not every time, but the time that I've dropped the link, because I didn't do it much since I've been going live. I maybe have did that maybe 5 times because I didn't know how to do it. And you know, somebody had told me what to do because I really didn't even know how to use StreamYard. And I'm still getting better with that. Yeah, so let me, do what I do. So the topic is, even though it says I got about 4 or 5 people here, but only one responding is Carla, and I'm humbled by that. Stop fighting with people and start fighting for yourself. Nah, nah, I don't want you to do no panels. I'm just saying, I noticed that. Like, no, I want you to do what's comfortable for you. I'm just saying, I noticed that. You know what I mean? Like when I be dropping late, I'm like, yo, my sister ain't never pull up. Like, wow, you know what I mean? And again, even should you pop up one time and I do it, I don't want you to get on the panel just to do it to appease to me. It's just for us to have a conversation like this where you ain't got to type, even if you do it for 2 minutes, hypothetically speaking, just to really hear you speak. It would be humbling for me. That's all. But I totally get it. I know a lot of people that don't do that. So I get it. So I used to fight with other people, and in the process of me doing that, I didn't recognize and realize how much I was losing myself. Example, a question was proposed to me about 8 years ago, I'm gonna say. Somebody pulled me to the side. An old time was like, look, would you rather have a bad relationship with someone, a family member, your kid, whoever, a coworker, or not have a relationship at all? And at first I said a bad relationship because it was like I would still be in their life and I could work on a relationship. And when I answered that, he was like, really? So he was like, okay, you would rather be in a relationship and you know that relationship is not going to be prosperous and you believe that you could work on a relationship, which is true. But if you're broken, you're going to fix something or work on fixing something with someone else, despite who it may be. And since that person had told me that, I used to think about that every day. And that changed the way that I looked at relationships, despite who it was. And it became humbling to me because it's like, that is my sister or my brother, but our relationship ain't right. And another thing I started to do, I started to look at me instead of us or me and them. I'm like, you know what? I got things I got to improve in my life. And should, my sister or my kid or my mom or my dad or whoever think that I'm being selfish or I got my priorities twisted or screwed up, I would tell them, you know what? I kind of do got my priorities twisted because I'm not prioritizing fixing myself to deal with you or to be around you or to have that connection with you. And in the beginning, when I did that, oh, of course I had arguments, but I had to let those people know I'm not right. So how can I extend that to you? Like I won't never be able to be in the right mentality dealing with you. And we're gonna have conflict. And now that conflict the end result is gonna be whatever relationship we do have, it's gonna get worse. And now I'm understanding you get to that point when you can't take back things you say and take back things you do. It's nothing wrong with saying sorry, but that may not change the damage that's done. So some people will accept sorry, but that's not going to take back the damage that was done. If you verbally abuse somebody, mentally abuse somebody, spiritually abuse somebody, physically abuse somebody, that's not going to take that back because you thinking about the relationship. You like, man, yo, that's my baby mom's like, or that's my son, or that's my daughter. Like, and in the past, I will hold on to those relationships, not thinking about, you know what, even though that's such and such and such, I can't hold on to this relationship. I got to let it go. Because regardless, they're going to talk about me. And it's not they talking about me because they mad or they glad or nothing like that, or I'm intelligent or I'm stupid. It's just they're going to talk about me because I'm not fixed. So if I fix myself, and when I do have to interact with them, be in that relationship, no matter what happens, I'm fixed. And I can always acknowledge the things that I need to fix or I need to work on or I need to enhance. That's why when I do lives or I do pre-recorded videos, I'm quick to put out things that I was into or things that I experienced or things that I lived. So should a family member watch a video or be in the bushes listening to one of my live streams and they'll be like, that's interesting that he acknowledged maybe 5 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, his attitude was like this, that, and that. And I don't want them to give me a pat on the back, or I don't want them to thank me for acknowledging the way that I was. I got to do that for me. So when I deal with anybody, I'm fully aware of the damage that I possibly did or would have still been doing had I not looked at myself. And I'm humbled to say that. Also, why I had to stop fighting with people and started fighting for myself was because prior to how things have gotten with mental health, that is so catastrophic for mental health because you be so overwhelmed with looking to be in a relationship with people because of who they allegedly are to you, you forget about yourself. And also, I had to fall back from a lot of that because outside of maybe my attitude, or I wasn't disciplined, or I didn't have self control and self respect, certain beliefs I had, I was having problems with people. So even if I didn't have verbal disagreements with people or mental disagreements with people, I could have had spiritual disagreements. I wasn't advocating holidays. I wasn't believing in Christmas, New Year's, none of that. I wasn't believing in Easter, 4th of July, none of that. So it was like that was more of a problem because I'm like, yo, like, why I'm celebrating Christmas for? It's just another day for me to spend money. And now maybe if one of my kids was involved, it's like, oh, that's an out for him not to spend money. And it's like that would cause an argument. And it wasn't them or it wasn't me. It was a lack there of me having to really adjust the way that I'm gonna speak to them about it. So it's like if I don't get myself together, whether this is a problem or not, get me together. Because I know how I seen holidays. Like I ain't really into holidays. And I never knock people who believed in holidays or celebrated holidays. I'm just saying for me, I don't think holidays are bad. I just don't celebrate them. But that, for a long stretch out of my life, that was a problem. So even if it didn't involve one of my kids, when family would invite me to places when I was younger, it would be an argument because I'd be like, yo, I don't celebrate this, that. Why you inviting me? Instead of saying, thank you. No, thank you. I'm all right, though. Thanks for inviting me. But once I started to feel, I could say that, yo, thanks. No thanks, though. I appreciate it. And it wasn't that I came at them when I was younger, because I was upset. It's just I wasn't in the right place spiritually, psychologically, mentally. And how I'm going to hold them accountable and want them to understand if I told them a year ago or a month ago or an hour ago, I don't celebrate holidays. Okay, even if I said that, what that got to do with them inviting me over for the 4th of July or for Easter or for Thanksgiving or whatever the situation is or was? They just trying to spend time with me or time around me. But I wasn't right mentally, spiritually. So I had to reevaluate myself. And I'm humbled that I could even say that today in 2025. Because when you gotta humble yourself, when you gotta check yourself, when you gotta respect yourself, when you gotta hold yourself accountable, it's not easy, but it's worth it. Because when I was going through what I was going through when I was younger, I didn't want to listen to my family or the police or whatever the authority figures may have been. But when I started to check myself, for somebody else to tell me something or for me to be more disciplined, it started to be easier and easier because I wasn't now dealing with other people no more. It's like everybody used to tell me when I wasn't eating meat or I was a vegan, because I was a vegan for like 20 years before I went back to eating certain meats for health purposes. I had to go back, but I was a vegan for like 20 years. So people would tell me, yo, you mad discipline. How you could not eat turkey or how you could not eat beef or chicken or fish or whatever, or not eat eggs and not drink milk, but easily get into arguments with people or you easily clash with people. And I had to reevaluate that, like, that makes sense. So I'm like, you know what? They got a point, man. I got to reevaluate this because people say this sometimes. Every time you take a step or two forward, it's like you're taking steps backwards. And I was in that situation because I wasn't right spiritually. I wasn't right mentally, psychologically. And I still was trying to get back into situations or relationships with family, with my kids, with friends, co-workers, and I still wasn't right. So now, if I do indulge in relationships, it's not going to matter when something goes right, wrong, or not, because I know my position and I know mentally where I got to be at. Malik, what's going on? Shalom, bro. Shalom. What's happening with you, bro? What's up with you, brother? Malik, man, I don't know if I did, but if I didn't, I just want to thank you, brother, for all your support throughout my maturation and my growth. Me getting to the 1,000 subs and looking to be monetized. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your support, your encouragement, your patience, the things you have helped me with, like with the StreamYard situation, with dropping a link, so on and so forth. And now I know how to drop the link. So if you want to pop up here, bro, I could drop the link for you and we could build if you want to. Just to let you know how to do it now because you always showed me abundance of respect and support on your platform. And I want to thank you for that, brother. That was very humbling and very gratifying. So I appreciate you for that, bro. And thanks, you say you sharing it out. I appreciate it. But like I said, now I know how to drop the link. So if you want to come up, I'll drop it for you. I mean, you don't have to. I'm just putting the offer out there because I have came on your platform several different times. Also, thanks to you, I know how to do that now. I'm trying to drop the link now for you, brother. Thank you. Did I do it? No, that's not it. My bad. That's the wrong one. Hold on, bro. Hold on. I got you. All right, that should be it, bro. But yeah, so like I was saying, I just had to get to the right place, mentally when it came to fighting for myself instead of fighting against others to keep relationships going. Because I did that a lot. Like I was like fighting to be in people's life, and I didn't really realize that I was really not fighting for myself to heal myself, to do the right thing for myself spiritually, psychologically. So I was thankful that I finally got to that place where it's like, you know what? Like, you know what, man? I got to stop playing. I got to mature. I got to heal. Like I got to grow up. And age wasn't a factor. It was about mentality. That's why when God started to take me through the cycles I was going through, I was humbled by that to have to be homeless and struggle. Cause it's like, yo, I gotta get right. What's going on, brother? Shalom. Peace and power. God bless you, brother.
Shalom, Mark. Shalom. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Sounds good.
Nah, you sound great, brother.
Shalom, Mark. I appreciate you having me on your platform.
Yeah, like I said, I know how to do this thanks to you, bro. So I just, want to give you flowers while you're here, man. Like, you know, you the one that really taught me how to work the StreamYard thing and how to drop links. Cause I've been wanting to do this with you. You know what I mean? And I really didn't know how to do it. So I'm just thankful, bro. Like I said, even if you just want to thank me or you want to build based upon what the topic is, I'm going to fall back and let you speak.
Yeah, give me like 2 seconds. The dog going crazy. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Nah, go ahead, brother. So in between time, while my brother getting situated, I just had to get my mentality together. You know what I mean, Carla? Like my mind was twisted. So I'm thankful that I was able to really get my mind back together. Like people don't realize drinking beer, drinking liquor, smoking weed, you know, that might seem minor, but that alters your mind frame. That don't have you as focused as you can get, like laser tapped in and focused. You know what I mean? Because when you do try to tap in and get laser focused, you gotta, yeah, I need this bottle. Yeah, I gotta roll up. I need some bud. So it's like once I got all that out my life, I was already keening in and honing in on the things I need to do. But once I got that out of my life, I got a lot of other unnecessary baggage out of my life. I already had cut a lot of things out and off, but once I got that out of my life, I really became a loner. I wasn't alone because God was always with me, but I became more of a loner now because I really didn't have to say, okay, well, I know I'm gonna interact with these people because I still smoke. And it's like now that I don't do that, I really was able to be laser focused. Like I really was like so focused. It was like somebody that, for instance, that I had a kid with. When they seen me after time and I was so laser focused, it was like, yo, you still look the same, but it's something about you. And then when we finally had that conversation, and my kid was like, Dad, now I just want you to come through whatever. I know you already vibe with my mom, but it was like, nah, I'm gonna do this for you, my kid. I love you. And once they seen I was like laser focused, it, I was like, I was humbled. I was humbled, but they looked at me differently because they seen my mentality was different. And I also was humbled because they said things, I don't know if it was intentional or not, to see where I was at mentally. And I told them, I was like, yo, I ain't mad at you. We've been through a lot. We did a lot. We experienced a lot. But you know what? I want to apologize for my lack thereof self-control, self-respect, restraint, yada, yada, yada. And it was like, nah, you owe me no apology. We both been through things. I was like, nah, I got to do that for my spirit, for my soul, for my healing. And they was like, yeah, I respect that. You know what I mean? So I had to learn that. I had to learn that. Like I really I had to learn that. So I'm humbled that I had to humble myself and apologize and switch my energy up. You know what I mean? And not despite if I did believe or I did say or I did see it as it was the other person for I took accountability. So it don't matter if something go left. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I can't put the burden or the pressure on somebody else to do that no more. I gotta hold myself accountable. So what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, brother, man? I just wanted to congratulate you, man, on your success on YouTube. And I'm just happy that I got to see it from the beginning and see that you never changed. That's what's up.
Well, it's gratifying. You was one of the ones that was there from the beginning and understand. And the only reason that I'm not gonna switch up and I'm not gonna change is because I've been through so much. And once I started to make my transitions in life, I appreciated my authenticity. Like it has gotten me away from a lot, but it has gotten me into a lot, meaning it got me away from a lot of fraudulent things. It got me away from a lot of headaches. It got me away from a lot of selfishness. but it brought me into, or it enriched me with a rich mentality. Because before I got as authentic as I was, my mentality was to defend myself. Now my mentality is to defend my peace of mind, not myself no more. I was like, defending myself against, whether that was the communities I grew up in, whether that was family, whether that was, people I had kids with, whether that was jobs, co-workers, like having to defend myself from the streets. Now all I do is keep God first and defend my peace of mind, because because that's all that mattered to me now, Malik. Just that peace of mind. You know what I mean? So when people want to start to yell, scream, disrespect, get out of character, I'm not mad at them, but I'm gonna go the other way. And I'm gonna tell them, yo, God bless, but I'm gonna go this way. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna call them out and tell them, yo, you toxic or you rude or you know why? Because I was there. And the thing that got it was reflection. You know what I'm saying? And looking at myself every day. So I can't make someone, tell someone, or show someone how they looking. I just pray that they start to recognize it and look at it.
Yeah, that's the best way to look at it. I always tell people I'm a flawed individual. Like I'm destined to make mistakes, and I just try to limit those because I feel like if you if you're a repeat offender, and by that I mean if you're just constantly just wreaking havoc and you're not ever learning from your mistakes, then it's like, come on, man. Like I think we all can fall a victim from our mistakes sometimes, and I think that us as people and moving in the direction the world is moving in, I think we will want to limit mistakes. We're gonna have mistakes. We're human. I can't foresee the future, and you can't stop yourself fully from getting into a car accident because somebody will probably hit your car, even though you're driving good. That kind of makes sense.
Oh, that's 100% accurate. See, the thing you said this a while ago. One time I was on your panel. As long as you stay focused on your situation and what you can control, anything else you can't really worry about it. So that right there is my mentality every day. Like I said, only thing I'm guarding is my peace of mind. And I got this new thing now with peace of mind, is that once I walk away from the situation, no matter what's being said, long as nothing physically is being done, once I walk away and the person walk up on me, God knows I could defend myself. I can't worry about the police, a judge, family, a prosecutor, a lawyer. I can't, like, it's not that I'm above anything, but God knows I could defend myself. Now, if I engage in an argument or I go back and forth, now whatever come, I gotta be ready to deal with that. But once I say, for instance, okay, I get it, argument sparks up, however, whenever, wherever, and I tell a person, yo, God bless you. I apologize if you was offended. Even if I see it from my perspective, I'm dead right. I could, yo, my bad, I apologize. God bless you. As long as I know I didn't physically do nothing to them, I could have said something. But if I didn't physically do anything to them and I walk off and they walk up on me and try to hurt me or harm me, I could defend myself. But otherwise, I'm leaving it alone because it's for my peace of mind. My peace of mind is priceless. Like I can't put a dollar amount on that.
That's definitely all facts right there. I mean, I came into this year, man, as everyone could see, like I haven't posted much of anything unless it's on the community wall. and I just came into the year. I just sorry about that. I just came into this year
Nah,
just
good, brother.
ready to excel financially and just health wise too, man. I lost a few pounds, man, and I'm looking at life from a different angle. I'm looking at it as a more prosperous thing. I wake up, man, every morning and I just have, those sounds that they have on YouTube. I just let those go for like a couple of hours before I leave to work or something to put me in a great mood. And I just been on some other stuff, man. Really growing.
Honestly, bro, honestly, man, this what I'm gonna tell you. You're not on no other tip. You doing what's best for your mental and psychological health. And see, the reason why I appreciate it and I'm gonna be authentic with that is because you'll see now, you'll see a difference in your life. You also get a better grasp of who respects your mental separation and your psychological evolution.
So true, man. Um, I appreciate this little small conversation we had, man. This was very nice, man. I'm about to get ready to eat this salad in a minute. So
Well, thanks for pulling up, brother. Again, you was there with me. So thanks for the patience, the tolerance, the growth, the encouragement, the knowledge you did give me about the StreamYard and how to do what I'm doing. And thanks for just giving me the 2 3 minutes. And overall, man, stay blessed and keep your peace and your mental evolution and your mental growth. Keep that first, man. You know what I mean? And things should work out for you, man. You know what I mean? Keep your awareness high and stay blessed,
de-
brother. And thanks for pulling up
definitely,
and enjoy your
definitely,
day.
brother. Definitely, and I appreciate you having me on your platform, man. And shalom to everybody out there.
Realist, what's going on, man? Melik just was in the chat. He had to fall back, brother, and go get him something to eat. You know what I mean? Yeah, Carla, peace of mind is definitely golden. Yeah, he had to fall back and get him a meal in him. You know what I mean? He just wanted to pull up because since I had dropped the link, he never pulled up, and he's one of the reasons that I learned how to pull up, put the link at, and hit the stream yard. He really helped me with that. So yeah, he just literally left out, man. And again, thank you for what you do, realist. From your perspective, you may tell me, nah, brother, I come through a little 5 minutes or I'm in and out. That's something to me. Time is golden. So that's a new currency if you ask me, time. Excuse me. So I'm thankful for your time and your effort and your energy. Honestly, man. So I'm humbled. I'm humbled. I'm humbled. But yeah, Carly, you're right. Peace of mind is definitely golden. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm gonna say like over the last 4 months, I've been isolated and separated. I've been so isolated and so separated from the world and from family and from society. And I'm admit something to you guys. In the beginning, I used to feel guilty. Like, for example, my kids be like, Dad, yo, I don't even hear from you. You didn't be checking on me, la, la, la. And it's like, in the beginning, I would feel guilty over family and be like, yo, you don't even be checking in on your moms or your pops or your sister or your brother, whatever. And it's like, the reason why I don't feel guilty no more is because I got to do what I got to do to keep my mental health. Nah, you good, Malik. Please enjoy your meal, brother. We need the vitamins and the essential nutrients to keep our mind right. See, the reason why I don't look at it like that no more is because when we all, on our own time, but when we all look at the news or we read a newspaper or we check our articles or we on the internet, we'll hear something took place. And now it's like 70% of the time they'll say mental health, mental health, mental health. Lions Pride, what's going on, sister? What's going on? Before I get back into the content, Carla's here, Lion Pride. So, you and her was vibing last time. But I hope you rested your legs, you know what I mean? Like, because you was walking, so I hope you rested and you got your feet up and you got your legs up. You know what I'm saying? I just hope, because you be doing a lot of moving around and walking. So I appreciate you though, and keep doing what you do, sis. It's gratifying, it's humbling, and thank you. I listen to you when you be doing the walks. It's so calming and relaxing. You know what I mean? So keep doing what you do. And I really appreciate you. So yeah, like I was saying, when we, and I mean individually, but I'm saying we because I'm speaking to everyone in the chat, talking to Paula, Lions Pride, Realist if he's still there. I know Malik probably there, but he probably enjoying his meal. So what I'm saying is, when you hear about something on the internet or you see something on the news, they'll say now like 70 to 75% of the time, they'll say mental health, mental health, mental health. All right, no problem, sis. You about to jump in the shower, do what you do, no problem. Again, God bless you. I appreciate you. So they talk about mental health so much. And what a lot of people don't get about that, when they say mental health, they saying a lot more to me than the typical person or the average person. Why they saying a lot is because people going through mental health because they've been unable to focus on them. They've been investing so much time into building relationships, not saying those relationships was broken, but the people involved with the relationships are broken. Meaning you could be a dude and you still trying to keep a relationship with your brother, for example, or your sister, knowing it's things about yourself that you got to fix. I understand that you got love for your sister, or you got love for your brother, or you got love for your mother, or you got love for your dad, or aunt, or uncle, or co-worker. But it's certain things and aspects in your life that trigger you or that trauma still connected to, and you haven't worked on it. And when I mean work on it, just you working on it by yourself, for yourself. So therefore, when you interact with others, you're not fighting with them. They're not fighting with you for you guys to stay in a relationship. And if both of you guys are not broken, somebody's broken. So now, if you could fix yourself, it don't matter how broken that relationship is or someone else is, because you're going to fix yourself. It's like if the sink is leaking and you don't fix it, now the pipes could start rusting. So it's going to get worse. It's going to be bigger than a leak now. Now you got rusted pipes. So now you got to take out pipes. You got to stop the leak. So it's like you're giving yourself extra work. It's like that. It's like the longer you take to clean the bathroom, the dirtier it'll get. The longer you take to do the dishes, if you just like, you put a plate and then you put a cup in there in a pot. It's like, I'm gonna do that later. Then you get something else to eat, or somebody else gets something to eat. If you living with somebody and they put dishes in there and they don't do the dishes, now that may become a conflict, because it's like, yo, but it was, why you ain't do the dishes? Why you ain't do the dishes? So if you work on fixing yourself, when you interact with other people, it don't matter if they're broken or not. You're not. So now, coming into the situation, you won't fight with them. You could fight with yourself and say, you know what? They ain't totally where I'm at. They're not beneath you and you're not above them, but they're not where you at. So now you could be like, you know what? I got something to do. I'll get back to you. Instead of you allowing them to call you, or you allowing yourself to deal with them, knowing now that you could see things a lot more clearer. It's like having foresight and having a psychological edge. That's why a lot of people see psychology, so they could see things through body language. It's like, you know what? Hmm, this person ain't enhanced their mentality. And again, it doesn't make them a bad person. It don't make you a better person than them. You're just a lot more aware of tendencies that you don't want to go back into. It's like when you become sober, before you could really, really, really sober up, you ain't gonna go around somebody that drink or that smoke no more, because they may could pull you back in. But once you mentally, it don't matter now if you go back around them. Like when I first stopped smoking, I couldn't just go around people, because it's like I made, and it had nothing to do with the people. They may not even pressure me to smoke. It's just me being back around that environment and being back in that atmosphere. It may make me want to smoke. So once I fully got smoking out of my system, I go around people now that I used to be around that smoke. It's nothing. And again, it's not about them peer pressuring me. It's about my mental approach now. I got the psychological advantage over myself, where I could tell myself, man, nah, you don't smoke no more. It's like that. But if you still trying to interact with people, you're gonna be fighting with them. Y'all gonna keep fighting with each other and try to stay in a relationship. And like I said, if it ain't both of y'all, somebody's broken somewhere. And that doesn't make somebody wrong or somebody else right or somebody else something. It's just you got to work on that now. It's like if you pro for yourself, that don't mean you anti other people. Nah. And a lot of times when situations are broken or people are broken or a person is broken, they perceive it that way because you, and they thinking, well, you against me. It's not that. You gotta work on your mental health. So I'm saying that to say this. That's why when a lot of things happening, we hearing because people are not fixing themselves and they've been in a situation with somebody. So if let's just say they got a couple kids, they probably wasn't never married, but they got a couple kids. They was in that situation for 20 years and they never really worked on fixing themselves, things that probably triggered them or trauma that they never was able to probably speak about or communicate about. Or if they was able to speak about it or communicate, they probably couldn't articulate it the way they needed to for the other person involved to understand, or vice versa. And if that wasn't the case, if they did bring it up, they probably had, if it was the woman, she probably had homeboy family in the business telling her things. And that probably was trauma. Like, well, this is how you need to raise your daughter, or this is how you need to raise your son, or this is what you need to do when you got kids now. This is what you need to do to keep your husband, or whatever they probably saying. But she probably never fully embraced what was said, and probably was like, I ain't gonna even respond back because that's my kid's mother, or or that's my kid's grandmother, meaning the baby father's family now. So they probably didn't want to offend them or say something to cause an argument or a dispute or a debate with them. So now we tend to hold on to that. And that affects us more than anybody else. It affects us because it's on our minds, the things that we wanted to say and never could get it off. So mental health is high now, or at a at an all-time high now, because so many people have been dealing with things that they haven't been able to speak about or get off or get out. And if they did probably get it off or get it out, they probably was shamed about it. They probably was ridiculed for it, or it probably was ignored, or they probably was brushed off. Like, get out of here. Nobody want to hear that. Or, see what I'm saying? You always complaining. Or see what I'm saying? You always bitching. Or whatever is going to be said. Or you problematic. Or why is always an issue? And instead of looking at it from that perspective, you got to look at it that we don't know the damage that that person got to hold whatever they see in, even if it might not be major to the other person. So let's just say somebody want to say something to me, even though it might be nothing to me, it might not be major to me. The fact that they can't get it off, or if they do get it off, they might not have got it off, and I might not have fully understood it. And if I fully understood it, somebody else may find out. My moms, my sister, my brother, my aunts, my uncles. And now they may say, yo, you know what, your baby mom's always complaining, or your girl always got something to say. Instead of understanding, regardless if we see this as a major concern or not, we can't disvalue what they see, or we can't disvalue what's on their mind or what they feeling. Vice versa, when it's a dude, and we do that. So that's why mental health has grown so high, because people fighting with other people to still be in their life. And when you, I can't do this no more. If you a man, you get that stigma. If it's kids involved, you're not a real man. You're not a real father. If you're a mother, you're not a real woman. You're not a real mother. Or, oh, you don't want to be married no more, or whatever the situation may be. Instead of other people looking at what it could be taking you through mentally, psychologically, spiritually, even verbally, because you may be communicating, but you may not know how to communicate it where the other person totally get it or totally accepting it. Because you may be so frustrated from dealing with it. It's like, this is the way you getting it off, because you're so frustrated. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying about fighting with others and not fighting for yourself. You got to fight for yourself, because we so quick to fight with other people to still be in their life. And in the process, we losing the grip on ourselves, and we losing ourselves because we trying to still be in other people's life. And that become a problem, because we losing ourselves trying to stay in a situation with other people. And I understand those people can be significant. I get that. However, we can't make anyone else more significant than us. That's why mental health is out of control. I'm going to say that again. I understand those people can be significant, but we can't make others more significant than ourselves. And a lot of people do that. So that's how come fighting with others and mental health is how it is and is the way it is. And Sadly to say now, sadly, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And it's only going to get worse is because so many other people are experiencing it and they losing themselves. So it's going to be less people that have patience and tolerance to want to deal with it because they going through their own mental health crisis. And it's not only with other people, but that's one of the main things that's sparking the things that's going on. The domestic violence, the verbal violence, the physical violence. Like I said, it's going to get worse because we're about to go through financial crisis. So now that's going to bring to health because it's like some people ain't going to know how to sustain without having X amount of money or X amount of food or X amount of clothes or X amount of resources to do what they need to do to sustain everyday living. So that's going to bring more mental health. It's going to bring more problems. And when you have nothing or no one to speak to about it because you don't want to confide in yourself, you don't want to confide in your own mind, your own knowledge, your own self gratitude. Like you owe yourself that much gratitude to say, you know what? I can't keep putting myself in this type of predicament despite who it is. Like we owe that to ourselves, self gratitude. To have enough gratitude to say, man, I love myself. I can't do this to myself no more. But a lot of times we overlook it for whatever reasons. And once you start paying better attention to it, you'll be able to acknowledge it easier, faster, a lot more quicker. But if you're not evaluating it, how you gonna see it? For yourself, not for nobody else, for you. You gotta evaluate it for you. But if you only looking at it or looking for it for someone else, you right back to square one again. So you gotta say to yourself, you know what? That is who that is. But I gotta think about the effect this gonna have on me. That's not selfish. That's called self-respect, self-preservation, self-confidence, self-esteem. And that's needed because once you get that right, you can really work with the other person and you can instill them tendencies and those habits into them. Self-control, self-esteem, self-confidence. And now y'all can really build something and y'all can sustain something. But not even but however, if you're not working on that, how you going to build anything? because you're going to find yourself right back in the same mental place and space you was in because you're not working on healing yourself. Because now you're going to have to go back through the same situations again of fighting with that person instead of fighting for yourself. So you're going to have to keep repeating the same repetitive cycles. Saying over and over, saying over. So you got to start fighting for yourself to say, you know what? I love so and so, but I got to love me. Like I said, no matter how much someone else mean to you, they don't mean more to you than you mean to yourself. I'm going to say it again. No matter who they don't mean more to you than you mean to yourself. And a lot of times we start to ignore ourselves to appease to other people. And this is how the mental health crisis is where it's at. And like I said, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And it's going to get worse because, again, we got to learn how to stop fighting with others and fight for ourselves. See, it's simple to fight with somebody else about what y'all got going on. But when you start to fight for you, for what you got to get going on, now you're getting somewhere. Because you got to put the necessary effort and energy down to consistently do that for yourself. But when it comes to other people, we easily fight with them about what they need to do to appease to you or what they got to do to make you happy. But what you got to do to make you happy, what you got to do to appease to yourself. That is the mentality that I'm talking about. That's the mind frame I'm talking about. That's the mentality I'm talking about. When I got in that mind frame, doors started to open up for me and things became different. And now I could tell myself, yeah, I'm doing this for me. And it don't matter how others perceive it. Like the brother Malik said earlier, he just been doing things for his mental health And that's what we need. You got to do things to keep your mind and keep the peace of mind. So that's why mental health is the way it is, because people like to fight with others about staying together in an unwarranted situation. So if you start fighting with yourself, you ain't got to worry about what somebody else will or won't do with you, let alone for you. Because you got to do it for yourself regardless. But if you keep tug of warring with somebody else, eventually somebody going to let the rope go, you or them, and somebody going to fall. And now they really going to be hurt. But you can't tug of war alone. So if you just do it with yourself, fight with yourself about putting in a better situation instead of fighting with somebody else about y'all being in a better situation. And I get it. The relation gets us, oh, that's my girl, or that's my husband, or that's my kid, or that's irrelevant. Because if it was relevant, why now mental health is so out of control? People are getting hurt mentally, spiritually, verbally, physically, psychologically, and what you hear. Well, they said the person need to be taken for psychiatric evaluation or mental evaluation, or their mental health is bad, or they're on medication, or whatever you hear that is on social media or on the news, or if you read the newspaper, or wherever you getting your information from, you're gonna hear mental health. You're gonna hear mental health because you tug a war with someone else and not with yourself. That's why I say I had to start holding me accountable. Couldn't worry about what somebody else would do or wouldn't do, or would say or wouldn't say. I can't worry about or sweat when somebody say, "Oh well, you never loved your kid, or you never loved your family, or you never." You know what? You're right, because I wasn't even loving myself. Or you're right, I wasn't even respecting myself. Or you're right, I couldn't even control myself. So how am I going to worry about somebody telling me if I wasn't doing something with them or for them, despite who it is? So if my own kids say, "But Dad, you never loved me," you're right, I wasn't loving myself. "Dad, you never was there for me," you're right, I wasn't there for myself. Or somebody say, "You don't got no discipline," or "You ain't got no respect," you're right. I got to work on self-discipline. I got to work on self-control. I got to work on self-awareness. But when you're not doing that, or you're not looking to do it, what separates you from the pack? What separates you from the herd? So I'm humbled that I understand something can separate me from the herd now, separate me from the pack. I get it now. Because, like, long as I work on me, what else really matters? What else? Nothing else really, literally, and logically matters. Because now I won't be at odds with someone else. So I ain't gotta go back and forth about do's and don'ts, and people think they know me and nobody know me. And I gotta know me. People don't really know themselves. Like, they believe they know others. I know me way better than I did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because I studied myself. And the only way you're going to do that, you got to stop fighting with other people and start fighting for yourself. I'm going to say that again. You have to stop fighting with other people and start fighting for yourself. Because the more you're around someone else, like I said, if it ain't you, it's them. Something is going to be broken amongst the circumstance or the situation. That don't make them negative, a bad person, nothing like that though. And it don't make you a negative or a bad person or nothing like that. But you got to work on fixing yourself. That's how come again. When we hear things, people are getting passes when things happen because of what? Mental health. That means something mentally with them ain't right. And that's not a knock on anybody going through mental health. I'm saying I was going through it. What helped me was I started honing in on me. So the struggles are going to continue to be there until people hone in on themselves. You can't let people bait you in by telling you how bad of a person you are because you're not dealing with something. Kids included. Why I say kids included? Because if you're a mom and it's like, yo, I can't do this no more mentally, you can't allow the government, your family, ACS, anybody tell you, oh, well, you neglecting your kids, or you're a deadbeat mom, or you're a deadbeat dad, or you're a selfish person. Because mentally, when you check out and now something happened, people gonna say, well, you should have gave your kids up, or you should have told somebody. They're gonna give you all these suggestions now. They're gonna give you a bunch of suggestions. How come? Because mentally, you overwhelm yourself by trying to go back and forth with somebody based off the relation. So once you say, you know what, I'm going to focus on fixing me. It's like I said, if you got a pipe that's leaking and you don't fix it and that water keep, that pipe going to get rusty. So now you got to fix that leak and you got to fix the pipe. You're giving yourself extra work. So what I'm saying is, if you're not fixing, you still stuck in a situation with somebody else and they may need fixing, but may can't see it. Now, you ain't gonna fix yourself, they ain't gonna fix themselves. It's just gonna get worse. And once one of you guys or somebody in that situation get overwhelmed, it might turn out to be catastrophic. And that's what's happening in a lot of these situations. It's like, well, how did it get this bad? Because no one is willing to self-reflect and look in that mirror and say, man, I do love my moms, I do love my pops, I do love my kids, but I gotta fix me. And they'll move on because one person might be like, man, I don't want to deal with this no more. Okay, and they may move on, but fix yourself. Don't mask it with money, cars, jewelry. Mask it with looking in the mirror and take off the mask and say, you know what? I got to fix me. And a strategic a factor in that when you start to do it is people are going to want to suck you back in with guilt, with self-hate, with envy. They're going to want to suck you back in with that. They're going to say, you know what? No, but you ain't a real man. You ain't a real woman. You never really love your kids. You never really love me. And it's like, okay, all right. She'd be like, okay, no problem. But I got to start loving me. I got to start me. I got to start being there for me. This is why when it ain't mental health, it becomes physical health. Because it's like, okay, mentally, once you do that, you got to get on top of physical health. So it's going to always be something that you got to stay on top on to keep the wheels turning. So it's going to always be something. You got to keep the wheels. You got to keep the wheels turning. You got to keep oil in that chain, so to speak. The chain in your brain to keep it moving, to keep going. But if you're not keening and honing in, the mental breakdown is going to keep coming. The mental breakdowns going to keep coming, and they're going to get worse. They're going to get worse because you fighting with other people to stay in their life, and they fighting with you to keep there. See, strength is not staying in those situations. Strength is walking away, getting yourself together. That's strength. That's power. Power is not staying in the situation to prove to someone else how much you love them when you showing yourself how much you don't love yourself. I'm going to say that again. Power is not staying in that situation. Power is leaving it alone, showing yourself how much you love yourself. See, a lot of people like to show other people how much they love them, and in the process, they're not showing themselves how much they love themselves. So now you end up having more of a mental problem with the situation than you would have had if you would have just been loving yourself. And that's not selfish for loving yourself. That's not selfish for respecting yourself. That's not selfish for self-awareness, self-control, self-esteem. People gonna bait you and pull you back in and tell you, well, you selfish because you saying you don't want to be in a relationship no more. You don't want to be in a marriage anymore. You don't want to work for that company any longer. You don't want to be there with your kids any longer. It's like because you're gonna lose yourself mentally. You're gonna lose yourself. And once you say something, you might not be able to take it back. Once you do something, you may not be able to take it back. You could get more clothes. You could get in another relationship. You could get more money. You could rehatch or rekindle that relationship. But once you lose your mental mind state, you may not never recover. I'm gonna say that again. You can get money back. You can get clothes back. You can buy more food. You can get more clothes. You could even rekindle certain relationships. But once you lose that mental mind state or that mental edge, you may not be able to get it back. You can even heal a broken heart. It's so deep. You can have open heart surgery and possibly survive and make it through that. But to get a brain transplant, I don't know about that. But to get a brain transplant or a brain transfusion, I don't know if you're going to make it through that because that's how much the mental means. As people, we take that lightly because we think and we believe we strong because we fighting someone else to stay in that relationship instead of fighting with ourselves to hold ourselves up. You really holding yourself back. We really holding ourselves back by doing that because you're in an unwarranted relationship with someone else and you're going to keep fighting with them because you're not fighting for yourself. And you get baited in by guilt. You get baited in by emotionalism. You get baited in by, oh, you never really loved it. You didn't because you didn't even love yourself. You didn't even respect yourself because you wouldn't still be fighting with that person. You would start fighting for yourself. It's funny and it's comical to me how we quick to come to the defense of others, but not our own self the way we would for others. You got to love yourself. You got to respect yourself. You got to have self-confidence for you before you can have it with someone or someone else. I'm going to say that again. You got to have love for yourself, respect for yourself, confidence within yourself before you can have it with someone else or for someone else. And the relation doesn't matter. That's what get people caught up because they're looking at the relation. And that is why mental health is so out of control. Because it's like, okay, it's my mom's, but my mom's mentally is getting to me. It's sad. Mentally, he getting to me. It's my husband. Mentally, he getting to me. It's my wife. Mentally, she getting to me. It's my kids. Mentally, they're getting to me. It's my coworkers. Mentally, it's getting to me. These bills. Mentally, it's getting to me. So if you focus on yourself, when when your kids or your husband or your wife or your family or these bills start to get catastrophic, you already know. Only thing you could control is your thought process. You can't control what your job gonna do. If they decide to shut that company down and let you go, you already got a mental edge over your emotions or over your mouth or over the way you're gonna communicate. But if you always fighting with other things and other people, you're gonna be able to be sucked in. You're gonna be able to, everything gonna break you down. That's why we got one heart. It easily could be broken. That's why we got one mind, and you got to keep it healthy. So when you start to understand that, you'll stop fighting with others, start fighting for yourself. Notice I'm not saying defending yourself. No, fighting with yourself. You ain't got to defend yourself from yourself. You got to defend yourself from other people. That's what you got to do. You got to defend yourself from other people. You got to learn who to let in, when to let them in. Then you got to learn when it's time for you to check out, not for you to check them out. No, you got to know when to check out. It's like checking into a hotel. Know when to check out that hotel before that late fee come. Because you know you ain't got no late fee. You know you don't want to pay no extra money. So if you dealing with someone, you got to know when it's time for you to check out. If they still want to be checked in, you can't control what they going to do, what they going to say. Once you check out, you did what you need to do for you. See, we only pay attention to self-preservation or or self-control, when it's materialism, when we want to show somebody up, when we get upset. You do it when the sun is shining. You do it when it's a good day. You do it with a smile on your face. You do it with a good heart. So your intentions are authentic and pure. But if your intentions are not pure and it's corrupted with evilness, when you're doing it to be spiteful, it's going to backfire. Because now you're doing it because you're frustrated. Oh, you doing it because people getting on your nerve. Why you allowing somebody to get that close to you, and why you not paying attention to yourself to understand what causes trauma in your life, what causes triggers in your life? You know what bother you. It's not about they've been around you for 10 years or 10 minutes or 10 hours, but they know I don't like pork. It don't matter. You know you don't like pork. You know you don't like people yelling. You know you don't like people gossiping. You know you don't like people being in your business. You know you don't like people criticizing. So once you know that, work on fighting with yourself to say, you know what, this triggered me, this bothered me. Work on it. Work on the repetition of saying, you know what, nah, this ain't what I want to deal with no more. So what if the person tell you you selfish, you're a bad person, you never really cared, or you never really love me, or you never, whatever they gonna say? Why are you worried about that? You ain't telling yourself that. You got to get the most out of this life while you got it. Because once it's gone, you can't get it back. Get the most out of your life. Value your legs, value your arms, value your eyes, value your ears, value your heart, value your brain, value your lungs, value your liver. But if you want somebody else to do it and it backfire, you got yourself to blame. It don't matter if somebody else want to display bad habits with eating, with drinking, with sleeping, with smoking, with gambling. That's them. You can't tell them, you gamble too much. That's what they want to do. That's on them. Man, you eat too much. That's on them. Man, you sleep too much. That's on them. You ain't even got to tell them what they doing too much. Pay attention to yourself. That's what's going to keep mental health lower. But mental health will keep getting high because people like to fight with other people to keep them in their life, or they like to fight with other people to tell them what they need to be doing. It's nothing wrong with advice. It's nothing wrong with suggestions. Nothing wrong with that. However, we get into these relationships with others and we hold on and we thinking that's love. That's selfishness towards someone else. More importantly, it's selfishness towards yourself. Let it go. Let it go. Some people got a lot going on and they don't want to let things go. They got Facebook, they got Instagram, they got Snapchat, they got TikTok, they on YouTube, they on Discord. That's a lot. Then they got to go to work. Then they got to deal with their kids. Then they got people texting their phone. That's a lot going on. You got to let things go and give yourself more time. Give yourself more attention. You holding on to people and things, and all it's going to do have you keep fighting with these things or with these people, and you're not fighting for yourself. You actually losing yourself. So how long are you going to keep going back and forth, fighting with other people, fighting with other things, and you neglecting yourself? And a lot of people say, I love myself, I love myself. Loving yourself is not because nice clothes are on your back or the way your hair look or you got a nice car or nice jewelry or a nice home. Those things are great. But what makes you exceptional is when you're doing the right thing for your mental health. When you're doing the right thing for your mental health, that's exceptional. That's exceptional. But when you're worrying about other things and other people, really, really evaluate that. Where has it gotten you and where is it getting you? Where has it gotten you and where is it getting you? And until I started to do it, oh, of course I got ridiculed. Of course I got talked about. Of course people said I never really loved them or I neglected family or I'm neglecting kids. But my mental health gotten better because I was so overwhelmed with fighting with them. For example, to still be, if it was my kid mom, I'm fighting with her to still be in my kid life. And now, if I'm really thinking about it, I'm bringing more mental strain on her and my kid, just like they're bringing mental strain on me because I got to keep fighting with her to be in my kid life, or she got to keep fighting with me to be in my kid life. And now we fighting with each other. And that's what? Mental health. So now it's more pressure on both of us. And we not seeing that. We said we got something mutually in common, which is that kid. And yes, that kid do need their mother and their father, or their father and their mother. But what that kid don't need, or what neither one of us need, is for us to not be mentally stable or mentally strong. Because like I said, you can lose a lot of things. But once you lose that mental edge, you may not never be able to get it back. And that's why a lot of people are going through things. And like I said, when you're looking at the news or you're on the internet or you're on social media, what they're saying when things is happening nowadays, mental health. Mental health. Or that person had a mental breakdown. Or that person not taking their medication. The authorities say that person was talking to themselves before the situation. This just randomly happened. Mental health. Going through a lot with other things and other people. Going through things. You gotta wake up and look in the mirror and say, gotta get you together. Gotta get you together. People are gonna talk regardless. X that out your mind. But X in your mind, you gotta do what you gotta do. Do you work for you or do you work for the money? Meaning, are you going to work just to take care of bills, or are you going to work because you really want to work there and the money is a necessity, but you're not going to overwork yourself for your bills or for the money? So if you just working for the money, what happens when you start to overwork yourself for that money? Mentally, it's going to take a toll on you. Psychologically, it's going to take a toll on you. Because you ain't going to want to keep working somewhere and it's like, man, I don't like my coworkers. Man, I don't like my boss. But you're just thinking about getting paid. Mentally, after a while, when something happened now, say you get into something with a coworker or with a manager or with a boss, you may say something and now you may lose that job, or you may do something and they may want to suspend you or whatever they may want to do. But if you work in there with the mental edge over yourself, it don't matter what they tell you or what a coworker may say. If they say, yo, we got to make budget cuts, we laying people off, I ain't no problem. Or a coworker may say something you don't like. You ain't gonna worry about that because you check yourself anyway. That's another thing about mental health. We don't like to be told nothing by the police or by another person, but yet and still we like to interact with other people and be involved with so many things. That's why I focus on self-preservation, self-respect, self-discipline, self-control. So I have to worry about somebody telling me something and it gets to me. Whether they telling me something right, wrong, intelligent, foolish, that's not the point no more. The point is that I'm telling myself. And when somebody could tell me, well, you never really loved your kid. You right. I wasn't even loving myself. Yo, you ain't got no respect. You right. I wasn't respecting myself. Yo, you need to take more accountability. You right. I got to work on self accountability instead of going back and forth with them about you don't respect, you don't love me. I love myself. You ain't there for me. I'm there for myself. Now they got three options. Look in that mirror like you doing, keep doing what they doing, or keep pointing the finger at you. And every time somebody put a finger at somebody, it's two pointed back at them. So now, are you going to self-reflect? Are you going to evolve, or are you going to dissolve under the pressure of someone else's guilt? Turn pain into prosperity. Turn prosperity into priorities. So now you could prioritize prosperity. Turn lust into love. Turn love into loyalty. Turn loyalty into longevity. That's what's going on. I used to blame other people for not being there for me, not being there with me, not loving me. People said they're going to do this, that. I understand people going to lie to me. What's bigger to me now, as long as they don't lie on me, because that's my credibility. I'm going to say that again. I don't care about people lying to me, long as they don't lie on me, because that's my credibility. They can lie on me. That can get me arrested. That could get me hurt mentally, physically, spiritually, psychologically. So that got to start being relevant. All that, anything in between, is like, so what? Don't matter. It don't matter. So pointing the finger, oh, this person really loved me. Did you really love you? Are you really being there for yourself? Or you just looking for excuses and the easy way out and not looking at yourself? That's what's relevant. That's what's going on. Anything else, you depriving yourself. Stop fighting with other people. Start fighting for yourself. Fight for yourself. Stop fighting with other people. It's catastrophic. Doing yourself a disservice. Loving other people is not showing them you love them by still being in the situation and something in the situation got to be fixed. No, life ain't perfect. So I'm not saying, oh, things going to be perfect. No, but you could perfect being there for yourself and with yourself. You could perfect that. It's no way you're going to perfect being there with someone or for someone. There's no way you're going to do that. But you could perfect doing things for yourself and with yourself. You could actually perfect that. You got one life. That's why we don't get multiple lives. But when we keep interacting with other people and we dealing with so many things, you moving as if you got multiple lives. You have one. You got one. Once it's gone, it's gone. Are you allowing other people to write your story or you writing it yourself? I don't make rules. I don't break rules. I don't follow rules. I write my own. I'm going to say that again. I don't make rules. I don't break rules. I don't follow rules. I write my own. See, it was a point I was letting people write my story. And then I was weak and I was letting them come to me and ask me for the signature on a book that's mine, but I let them write my book or I let them write a chapter in my book. I write my own book. And I don't care who want to read it. I don't care if they like how the cover look. I don't care if they like the index. That's not for them to like, love it, or hate it. It's my book. You want to read it? I'm humble. You don't? God bless you. So are you writing your book or you letting someone else write? Even if somebody ripped pages out your book, that's not going to change the fact that it's still your story that you wrote. But if they write your story, other people are going to see their version of your story. I'm going to say it again. Other people are going to see their version of your story. Long as you write your own story, it don't matter what version get out there. You wrote your story. Some people like to allow people to write their story and then complain about how the book looked, how the story came out. Or they got a bad attitude, or they selfish, or they this, or they that. Because they letting other people write their book and write their story and put whatever pictures they want to put in the book and all that. You write your story. It don't matter if your story or your book only got 5 pages or 5,000 pages. It doesn't matter. You the author of your book and you sign your book. It don't matter about nothing else. You the author and you sign your book. You the editor. Don't let nobody write your story. You the author of your story. But when you always got to fight with somebody else about something and you got to go back and forth, that's how they get an opportunity to write your book, to write your story. Because from their perspective, you ain't giving them the opportunity to look at things that they need to look at for them. When I did a lot more self-evaluation and self-examination, some of the people that I was around their issues got worse. And I'm not speaking about them to talk down on them. I'm saying because I was able to analyze it better. And the only reason my thing got better because I was self-reflecting. Their things got worse because they still wasn't self-reflecting. Got to be able to do that. Self-reflect. Evolution. Evolution. Growth. Maturity. You know, you got to be able to see yourself in the highest regard. You don't see yourself in a high regard, it doesn't matter how other people see you, though. You could do everything correct. People still don't see you how they see you. And you could do everything wrong. People still gonna see you how they see you. But you control your narrative. Don't let nobody do that. Don't let nobody do that. You control your narrative. A lot of people going through things because they tug of war with someone else. Stop going back and forth with other people. Stop going back and forth. Take yourself through it. Don't go through it with other people. And is it really worth it? Is it? People gonna speak about you regardless. You could be there with them every day for 20 years. Once that one situation happened, you could wipe the whole 20 years away. It's like it never existed. It's like it's never existed. Excuse me. Like I've been in situations where people give up 20 years of happiness for 5 minutes of fun. Like you want that to be your story, you're gonna give up on yourself to for someone else gratification or someone else validation. That's the issue. A lot of people need other people for validation. You validate you. I need somebody else to validate you. You're supposed to be able to do that. You validate you. You know where you stand. You validate you, not other people. But again, a lot of people do things for validation, from to get validation from others. Got to be able to put more work in and appreciate the work you put in. Got to be able to do that and understand that and be humble. So let's see who tapped in tonight. We got Lions Pride. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. We got Carla. Thank you. I appreciate you. My brother Melick, he stopped by. He was actually, he hit the link. So thank you, bro. Realist, I appreciate you. Salute to you, brother. And whoever was in the bushes or who is in the bushes, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, and if you care, share. And if you see this on the replay, thanks for your time, effort, and energy. And before I go, remember, stop fighting for other people and start fighting for yourself. Stop fighting with others and start fighting for yourself. Self respect, self esteem, self confidence, self control is important for growth. People gonna bait you in with guilt. So what? Write and create your own narrative. Write and create your own book. Don't let people write your story and write your book and come to you for the signature for your book. And then you're upset with how people interpret what your book says when you letting other people write it. Keep God first. Keep your mental health where it needs to be. Stay safe. Stay healthy. To everybody out there, again, thanks to Lions Pride. Thanks to Carla. Thanks to Realist. Thanks to Malik. Till next time.